Life Fight with Jermaine Andre is a positive production of RareGem Productions. For previous episodes or to get new episode updates, subscribe to the Life Fight channel hosted on the Inspiration Network of OneRareGem.com. That's OneRaregem.com for the tools you need to take on your life fight. With U.S. Martial Arts Hall of Famer, 2-time world champion, 5-time U.S. champion, UFC vet, life coach, and author, Jermaine Andre. Visit JermaineAndre.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life Fight. It's Jermaine Andre, my co-host, Rebecca Beck.
Hello, everyone.
And today, we're going to start things off with a little bit of safety about outdoor running. The weather's nice out there. The sun is popping. The trees are getting green. The grass is green. Flowers outside. It's looking nice. You know, everybody wants to get out there and jump out there and start running around enjoying the nice weather. But I think we just had an incident not too long ago in the St. Peter's O'Fallon area. St. Peter's O'Fallon is starting to turn out like Ferguson. See, they better. Everybody always think they're running from the problems. That's why I tell you, you know, you still got to be ready because, you know, crime goes everywhere. It follows. You know, like I said, the one thing that people don't realize about crime is it's not just people, it's a mentality. And a person can turn into a criminal overnight depending on what's happening in his or her life. But I know a man attacked a female runner who was out running. So I want to go over a couple of things about running outside, some preparedness, awareness, and defense tips that you can use. Well, for one, preparedness. Before you get ready to get involved in anything, you always want to be prepared. You know your route, know where you're going to run, know the direction you're going in, know how far it is. Don't ever go somewhere that you don't know where you're going or you don't know how far it's going to be and you wear yourself out. You know, make sure that you notice that you're assuming that it's going to be a safe run in a safe area. Something else also, you want to wear appropriate clothing. And this is something now, when I say appropriate clothing, that doesn't mean you have to have a sweatsuit on. Now, me, when it's 110, 115, I want a black sweatsuit, black headband, a couple of T-shirts. I want to feel that heat. You know, I told my daughter before that if I end up dying out there running in the heat, don't feel bad about it because that's probably what's going to happen because I'm going to do that until the day I do pass. I just love being out there in that heat. But when I say appropriate, I know a lot of women like to run half naked.
Yep, sports bras and booty shorts.
And I mean, I got no problem with this. You know, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, are you telling women not to wear sports bras and booty shorts when they run, Jermaine?
No, I'm not telling women that. No way. I mean, you're going to get a better workout if you got a sweatsuit on. That's if you don't die, you know, because how hot it gets, you know, whatever, especially if you're in St. Louis, you know, out there running on the concrete in that heat. But when I say appropriate clothing, it has to be well-fitting, you know, and you have to think about your footwear. Is one of the most important things. You know, there's a lot of these new shoes out there that have real thin bottoms on them and, you know, that your toes stick to. I mean, it's kind of creepy to me. Yeah. I see people wearing those ones where you can see the toes. I always feel like they're going to grab me with their toes and I'm going to get toe jam all over. So, you know,
they say they're comfortable, though.
I know, and I want to try them out, but then I feel like I'm going to be scared of my feet. I feel like I'm a little monkey or something, which, you know, feel like a monkey. That's a powerful feeling, I guess, you know, but yeah, they just kind of weird. But the whole thing is, I know I used to own a pair of the Nike, I can't remember what they were called, but you could roll them up. They were like really, you could almost,
the flex ones,
you could roll them up like a sock.
Yeah.
The bottom was really thin.
Yeah.
And when you're running outside, you can't control the terrain. You might step on a piece of glass, a nail, you know, anything, a hypodermic needle, anything you can step on, you know, that could, you know, injure your foot. And that'd be the worst thing in the world. You're 2 miles away from your house running and you step on something and cut your foot wide open. So when I say wear appropriate clothing, ladies, I'm not saying do not wear sports bras and, you know, shorts. I'm saying, you know, some good, you know, something that's going to protect your feet and clothes, of course, that are comfortable to move in. You know, you still got to have something that you can move in, that you can run in. But understand and know, you know, I say this all the time, you know, if you are out there and you're running in a sports bra, you're running in, you know, booty shorts and all that kind of stuff, the wolves are out there. It's like Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, it's like Little Red Riding Hood and, you know, running out there and the big bad wolf out there. There, you are getting looked at.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with men looking at you. You know, if you don't want to be looked at, don't dress like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like me. I can throw on my, what's those tight pants I got? What are those called?
Spandex. Yeah,
those spandex pants and a tank top. Yeah. And I go running, ladies are going to look at me, you know, and I hope so. That's what I did all that work for. You know, but women have to understand there are some inappropriate men who are looking also.
Yeah.
So don't feel like, you know, and everybody has a right to dress the way they want to, all that kind of stuff. Don't feel like, I got the right to be out here like this, so he doesn't have the right to attack me. That's true, but that doesn't matter when it comes to an attack.
Yeah.
Your rights mean nothing when somebody's breaking the law to come after you. So you have to be, that's the first part of preparedness, knowing what you're looking like. If you're out there looking sexy, looking hot, looking good, and you're looking good, then there's probably weirdos checking you out, so it can happen.
And it's not that important when it comes to running. Wearing a sports bra and shorts isn't that important when it comes to, getting your exercise in. So.
Oh, you mean as far as them having to wear it?
Having to wear it.
Well,
so
I think it's important that they do wear it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you're out there getting a workout, it's just like me. You have to tell me to dress nice when I work out. Yeah. Because when I go to work out, I'm going to get dirty and destroy stuff. So I'm not really wearing a lot of stuff unless I get me a good sponsor from, somebody who wants to, have a spot on my podcast and throw me in some self-righteous gear, what I'm saying, where I'm looking good and I can destroy it. They're going to fill me up with gear, then I'm in, but everything I get comes from Walmart. Now, to see they get a sponsorship spot just like that because they the cheapest.
Yeah, because you go through it in about a month.
Yeah, I rip it away. It stinks and I rip it, I shred it, so, but, wearing appropriate, know your route, wearing appropriate clothing, carry a defense tool. Yeah. Okay. You have to have something. You're out there running. You're wearing yourself down. You're going to be tired. You're going to be weak. That's what you're out there doing. You're making yourself weak and tired. So you need something to equalize in case you run into somebody who is strong at the moment. Because if somebody attacks you, they're probably going to watch you and they're going to find you at your weakest point to make that attack. So you don't want to think you're going to, just because you're out there running and you're feeling good and you feel like, oh man, I'm in shape. I can fight when I'm not tired. Yeah. They're going to catch you when you're tired. So, you can carry all kinds of defense tools. If you, as far as starting at the top of the pile, if you decide to carry a firearm, they make, holsters that'll fit inside of a sports bra. Yeah. They make holsters that'll fit inside of a waistband, and there's guns small enough. That's why, like I say, everybody don't need to buy a 50 caliber Desert Eagle for self-defense. Yeah. That's not a self-defense weapon. A little bitty 1-shot or 2-shot, little Derringer or something that fits nice and flat where a person can't even see you have it would be perfect. They make, cell phone, firearms that look like cell phones. They make, firearms that look like pagers. So you got all kinds of stealth items you can buy. If you're not wanting to get into firearms, they do pepper spray. You got pepper spray that'll fit in a sports bra. They got
small ones.
Small. They actually have one for runners that straps on your hand.
Wow.
And it's in your hand, so you don't even, because you want to loosen your hands up when you're hitting that hard run, and it straps right there, and you can spray if you need to. Couboutons, things like that. But you got to have something, if you got a knife, you got to have something that you can carry that's immediately accessible that you can get to.
Yep. My sister's a big runner, and she actually got attacked by an animal one time while she was running. So then she started carrying pepper spray after that. So it's not even just humans. It's dogs, it's animals out there too. Yeah,
there's all kinds of dangers out there. Yeah. It doesn't always just have to be a human being, because this is the thing. You can probably scare off a human being. Yeah. And a human thinks. Animals don't think. Yeah. If you run into a rabid squirrel, a rabid squirrel will tear a human being apart. Yeah. You're not going to get him off you until you put him down for good. So that's something to think about, because where do most people like to run? In the nice parks and, where it's nice wooded areas. Yep. This is these animals' homes. Yeah. So getting back to, knowing your route, make sure somebody else knows it also. Let your family know when you're going out for a run. That's one of the things, a lot of mistakes we all make, is we go somewhere, we don't tell someone. Yeah. Because it seems childish, and it seems like, I don't want to have to report in. It seems simple, it seems basic. But a lot of times, just like I teach, real estate agents, I say, when you're going to a house, somebody needs to know you're going. Yeah. I don't care what time of the day or night it is, because there was actually a real estate agent, and she got hurt. By somebody who attacked her. She fought him off and she got hurt, but she couldn't carry herself out. And she was sitting there bleeding. But somebody who she had told where she had went realized she had been gone. Hey, where's she at? Right. She's been missing for this time. And she said she was going to the house, and they came to the house and they saved her. That's the only thing that saved her, was the fact that they knew that she was missing. Wow. So, you're going for your run, just like, if you get ready to go for a run, you're like, hey, Jermaine, I'm getting ready to go for a run. Okay. Where are you going? Right. how far are you going? I'm going 2 miles. I know it takes you probably, we'll say 30 minutes while we're on there, to run. Okay. No, I mean, 20 minutes to run 2 miles. No, really, it does take about 20 minutes. So I'm going to look at the clock.
How about we race today and we'll find out?
My knee hurt. We'll race later. But I know it takes about, whatever time it does. And if you're not back, then I'm going to check. And I got to know where you went.
Yeah.
That's why I say, it's good to knowing your route and stand on that same route. Because if you go I'm going to go this way today. And you go that way, now we're over here looking for you and we can't find you. You hurt, stepped on something, broke your leg, you're sitting there bleeding out. And if we would have found you, you've been perfectly fine. It's just been an injury. But now that you got infected and everything else. So. And
that's letting somebody know where you're going. That doesn't mean let Facebook know where you're going.
Exactly. Don't announce off. Get ready to go for a run. Anybody want to come with me? Oh, yeah. There are some people who want to come with you. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Man, Facebook, sometimes I wonder if like criminals pay Facebook, hey man, I appreciate you guys being around. People let me know when they're home alone. They let me know when they're going out on a vacation. I mean, I'm just getting rich off you guys. I'm going, how many homes I'm breaking into this weekend because people are announcing that they're going on vacation and, and then these kids are sitting at home, saying they're home alone right now. They want somebody to talk to, I'm going to go talk to them. Thanks, Facebook. But that's not a crack at Facebook. That's not their fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be like, somebody got stabbed and you go blame Schnooks because they sell kitchen knives.
Yeah.
We all have to be responsible, with what's out there.
Yep.
But moving along, so preparedness, know your route, let somebody know about your route, wear appropriate clothing, carry a defense tool. Awareness. When you're out there running, scan the area you're entering. You hear me say it over and over, and you're going to keep hearing it. It's the Terminator thing. You look, scan, potential danger, yes, no, looking at everything before you enter the area. Don't just be running with your eyes closed. And, oh, this is such a beautiful day, and you run right into somebody with a ski mask on, and bump them. They're like, you scare them because they weren't even paying attention to it. They say, oh, thanks. And end up grabbing you or something, and then of course the number one mistake, headphone volume.
Yeah.
Everybody throw, oh my goodness, everybody throw those headphones on and you're running, like I said, blind or deaf, keep it low. It should be low enough where you can hear cars honking, you can hear, footsteps, you can hear everything. That should be just very, very light background music.
Yeah.
Because you're taking away your most important sense. Is your sense of hearing.
Usually what I do is I take one ear completely off and put it behind so I can hear everything. I still can hear the music.
Yep, that's what I do. I have it low, but I'll still have one ear off.
Yeah.
So I'm still hearing everything that's going on around me. Another, of course, vehicles. You are not tougher than a car. And you get a lot of that. I see that people be out there running and I'm driving. They'll just run right in front of you. Even at a stop sign, something like that. A car stopped at a stop sign. When you're moving and out there running, people who are driving, they're looking for cars. They're looking for, motorcycles. They're looking for trucks. They're not looking for a little fast moving person.
Yeah.
So just because you're standing at this stop sign, they can look right past you because they're looking for something bigger. And you just jump out in front of them, they pop, and then you get hit, and that's not a good thing. So you want to watch out for vehicles. Something you mentioned earlier, wild animals.
Yeah.
Somebody's dog can get out of the yard. I know we even had one of my students. I think she was out for a jog and somebody's dog got out of the yard and it attacked her. And this was a dog that everybody, oh my God, I can't believe this dog did it. Like I tell people all the time, you never know what an animal's going to do, even a house animal. He may be sick and tired of it today and his own, but he got out. She didn't expect it. And it was a Akita, a big dog, attacked her. And she used a lot of skills that I taught her to keep him from getting at her throat. She just got bit on the leg and on her buttock and on her arm, so wild animals.
We had a female client who got chased by a fox.
Yeah, fox, exactly. And that's really dangerous because if that fox is chasing you, that's because you were probably near her nest.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't even go run that area again because that fox probably going to be looking for you.
She said that was the day she started liking running. So it was a good
I think she learned she could run 2 miles in 10 minutes, did she? She learned how fast she could really be. So if you're looking to get chased, pick up your speed, then you go get chased by a wild animal. I guarantee you're going to be really fast. Suspicious characters. Watch for suspicious characters. Always remember anybody who looks like they're trying to hide. Anybody who looks like they don't belong there, that's always somebody to look for. I even pay attention when I go out running. If I see somebody running up near me who's not sweating, who look at their shoes, look at the attire that they're wearing, look at their expression. When a person's out on a run, they have a certain expression. Either they got the look of, oh, this is exhilarating because they haven't gotten tired yet, or they are suffering like, man, this is killing me. So that's one of the things I pay attention to. A person who uses get ready to make an attack, they make, expressions and they give gestures because they're nervous, they're hyped before they're about to make their move.
Yeah.
So, and especially if you see people hanging out in groups. Groups, and especially if a group is being quiet and you're about to run past them, they're probably about to do something.
Yeah.
They got a plan and they're trying to, be quiet so nobody notices them, so you don't notice them, and then boom, and then they own you. You know, so that's way something to look out for. I
want to go back real quick to what we were talking about when you said know your route. Do you suggest that people don't use the same route too? When it comes to someone that's going to attack, you always wonder. I don't know, you can't really tell, you can't really say if this is the truth or not, but you wonder if there's somebody that's looking out and following you and seeing that you're on the same route, or you always just wonder if, they just
people definitely
go for random people.
No, they're definitely, I would say 99% of the time they're going to watch you
before you do.
Yeah, before they make their move.
So using the same route then probably isn't a good idea for running either.
If it's a good familiar route, there's other things to watch out for. But I would say if you can find alternate routes that are good routes, then it does help to change your route. Just like even driving to work and things like that. I do that myself. Unintentionally. Sometimes I'll just take different routes going home. Just in case somebody's following me, which I don't think anybody ever has. I wish somebody would, so I can so I can lead them to a dark area and we can, just things can happen. I can test some stuff out. I haven't got to test out in a while. So, but that's not a bad idea because I naturally do that. Even when I pull up to my home, I pull in different ways sometimes, and make different moves. Anytime you do something different, you're throwing people off.
Right.
Back on awareness, something else to watch out for that people don't watch for are road hazards.
Yeah.
Man, you can step in a hole and snap your whole leg in half. Construction going on, just like we would just come in and do the podcast and the guy had that little hole, that little bitty hole open and a little bitty, sitting there testing the sewers or something. All it takes is him, I'm sitting there running, listening to Nine Inch Nails. I'm like, yeah, boy, it's on, man. I'm flying, and then he steps over to his truck to write something on his keyboard. All right. I don't see it. And I step my foot in that little hole.
Yeah.
I just lost my whole leg, and my head. I'm going to hit that ground. So road hazards, construction, construction workers, like I said, they're looking out for vehicles. They're not looking out for people. And us as, when we're out running, we think we can run wherever we want to because we got feet. We're supposed to be able to do that. So if it's a construction site happening, that ain't getting in the way of my route. I'm going through. But then beep, beep, here comes a big bulldozer backing up, bow, and hit you because they're not looking out for people because in that area, those people are trained to look out for bulldozers. So they don't expect that. So road hazards, things like that, that's something else you got to look out for.
Absolutely.
Now, if you get in a situation, you have to defend yourself. The first thing I say is most important. You have to maintain fight fuel. All right. That means don't burn yourself out on the run. Some people will run themselves to death where you're so tired that if you get attacked, there's nothing you can do because you're dead tired. So you always have to keep in mind that no matter what I'm doing, I have to make sure I have fight fuel so I can defend myself. You get attacked, try to feint the attacker. Always remember, you're probably going to have less energy than the attacker. So feint them, pretend to submit. That goes back to the thing, don't make the fight immediate. Try to throw him off guard. Okay, I'll do whatever you want. It's no problem. I'm fine with it. That's going to do one or two things. It's going to make him happy or it's going to shock him. Really? And then that's your bow. There goes your hit, your palm strike to the nose or whatever, your kick to the groin. And that's the last thing. Use 100% effective techniques.
Yep.
Eyeballs and groin, eyes, groin, throat. That's what, like I said, any military expert, when he's going in, if he has a go to hand-to-hand combat, he's not going to sit there and try and box somebody, and throw taekwondo kicks at their head. He's going to try and stick his finger in your eyeball, hit you in your throat, or kick you in the groin.
Yeah.
And so that's what you should use. So something where if I touch you, it's going to hurt. Instead of saying, well, I just did cardio kickboxing class, so let's fight. You're not going to have any power. You're not going to have any speed. It's not going to be effective. And even you could punch a person in the face. You watch street fights all the time in bars and stuff. And people hit each other in the face all the time and nobody gets knocked out.
Right.
They both just, and then they, stand there like that looking at each other, and that's not because somebody who got attacked. That's two people who agreed to fight. So if you get attacked and you're tired and you throw a punch at this guy and you don't put him down, well, that's going to put you in a bad luck area.
Well, back to the fight fuel. How do you really know how you're to that point where like what you're saying, where you're so exhausted that you're not going to be able to fight back? How do you really determine what that state is?
That's a really good question. That's something that can be learned in a martial art or a self-defense training area where you have to push yourself to the point of where you know what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Where you'll know that when I'm this tired, I can't fight back because I could do that easily with somebody on the pads. Say, okay, there's no clock. You're going to hit until you can't hit anymore.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of my private lesson students, I did that with him yesterday. And I put him through this drill that was probably just a 2-3 minute drill, and it destroyed him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we went to the pass, he could barely fight.
So he couldn't move. You're like, is that what you're saying? He had no energy, no strength?
Well, yeah, he had very limited energy and strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know when you're at a point where, man, I can't really hit, you know, but now he knows that point. So he should never run himself to that point when he's out there in an unsafe area.
Yeah.
You know, in the dojo, it was okay for him to do that because he wasn't going to get beat up for real. But out there where there's potential attacks, potential danger, he should never get himself to that point of what he felt. And usually what it is you'll feel your heart rate will be way up, you know, and your lungs, it's where you can barely stand up. You don't want to get to that point. You're not going to be able to fight. You know, it's going to be really hard to fight. You know, and I mean, that's not saying, well, and I'm going to take that back. Not saying you're not going to be able to fight, but it's going to be really hard to get to the point where you can fight. By the time you can kick that in, it might be too late. So that's just some tips for outdoor running. Everybody, you know, you need to keep that in mind so you can be safe out there. You don't want to go out there to get in shape and end up, you know, getting attacked and getting hurt. Now, getting to my main topic here, finally, something that, you know, like we say, the main objective of life fight is for us to make sure you can defend yourself. Now, my ideas of defending yourself are really weird. It doesn't always have to do with actual fighting, punching, martial arts. A lot of it has to do with just the way we live, the way we think, the way we communicate. You know, and that's why this is going to be. You know, that's why I got so much for our podcast, because I got so many different angles about self-defense. But the one thing about actual physical self-defense of why people. You hear about all these people getting attacked, everybody becoming victims. You never hear about anybody fighting back.
Yeah.
I think I just saw on the Facebook, someone sent me, and it was and they actually had the video, and it was two Indian Native American guys were sitting in a restaurant, and it was 3 white guys harassing them, and they came up and they showed the whole video. It's good. It's a good video, and there were witnesses there also, and they said that the 3 white guys were making racial slurs to these Native American guys. And the Native Americans were just sitting there and they didn't do anything. And the white guys got up to leave. And one of the white guys went over to shake the hands of the Native American guy, I guess trying to apologize. Mm-hmm. One of the Native American guys shook his hand. The other one didn't. He just stood with his hands in front of him and shook his head like, no, I don't want to shake your hand. And so that guy punched him in the face.
Wow.
He punched the Native American guy in the face, you know, and he backed off. And then he kind of just like, he actually had a gun on him and he showed his gun. And that guy left, but then another white guy came running in and attacked him. He pulled his gun, pop, 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 and shot him 3 times. Now, this proved my point where I tell everybody that sometimes a gun is not 100%. Because he shot the guy, and you watch the video, it don't look like he got shot. It's not like a movie. People think in a movie, you're going to shoot, and the person going to go flying back.
Yeah.
That's not the way it works. Mm-hmm. You know, a bullet enters, sometimes you don't even know you're shot. So that person can still make his attack. And that's why I say you have to know how to hit somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, because when you hit somebody correct, wow, that will knock them back. A front push kick to the chest will knock them through a window. You know, a hit square on the chin will knock them out and make them drop.
Yeah.
But you can sometimes put 10 bullets in somebody's chest, and they can still come. If they got a knife, and they just cut your throat, you know, and they'll run off. And that's what happened with this guy. He got shot. He turned, ran out the door and left. They got in the car and he died in his car later. So, and the Native American got found not guilty. Everything it went pretty. He had a CCW. He took his gun, put it on took the clip off, called the cops. He handled it perfectly. You know, it's sad that somebody had to die over something so silly, because that's somebody's son, somebody's brother, possibly somebody's father. But life is serious. You know, you don't mess around with people like that. But the whole point that I was making is that that's the only time I've even heard of somebody really fighting back. Mm-hmm. You know, most people don't fight back, and that's because we have all been deprogrammed, you know, in society. And when I say that, we are all what you call natural born killers. And as human beings, we were born and we know naturally how to kill. We know naturally how to fight back. Mm-hmm. And if you think about the caveman days, you know, when we were all cavemen, you know, everything was ruled by, you know, who's the strongest. Yeah. You know, you could there was no law, you know, so you had to be a killer to survive in caveman days, or you wouldn't have survived. You wouldn't have lasted 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. As soon as somebody wanted your leg of lamb or whatever it was you were eating, they just crack you in the head and take it from you, you know, and then they probably eat you too, you know. So, and even moving ahead, think about the Roman era. Yeah. You know, those times. I mean, everybody was killers. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody carried a dagger, was assassinating, and if you weren't, you had to be ready to defend yourself, to fight and stand there and kill. So moving further ahead, let's get to the Wild West. Everybody carried a gun. You know, 12-year-olds had guns. And they could shoot and kill when Dad left. Boy, you watch the ranch. You hear me? If anybody come around here, you protect your mind, protect the family. Yeah, Dad. You know, and he had his gun. You ride up on there. That little boy with a 30 shotgun, he'll blow your head off. You know, so even kids were killers back then. So if you think about it, and when I say naturally, of course, you know, Roman era, Wild West, you say that was taught. You know, you taught your kids to be that way, but it's naturally into us. You think about when you were a kid, a child, and a bug will get on you and just disturb you, you know, scare you or bite you. What'd you do to that bug?
Yeah,
you killed it.
On it, yeah.
you murdered that bug. He was dying for what he did. Well, even if it scared you, you killed it as a kid. Same thing, even with animals. You know, if the cat scratched you, you try to kill that cat until you learn that you can't do that.
Yeah.
This is wrong. When you can't defend yourself in that manner. And that was even the same thing like dealing with bullies. When we were in, you know, like kindergarten, you know, in the lower grades where you really not understand the language yet, when the kid came over, took your stuff, you got up and tried to crack his head open. You beat him down until you got your hand slapped and something worse happened to you that stopped that behavior. It made you say, whoa, I don't want this to happen to me, so I'm not going to do that anymore.
When that's all out of still defense. Even every scenario you gave, it was still only if something was going to happen, you know, even with the animal.
Right. And when I say we're natural born killers, I'm not saying murderers.
Yeah. No,
that's not. Yeah. So
it's when something's going to happen to you.
Yeah. I'm glad you helped me to clear it up. I'm not saying we were all, you know, evil and we didn't value life.
Yeah.
You know, we all cavemen valued life or we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, they did
all of them be dead.
Out of protection most of the time.
Yeah. They came together as groups and formed what we have now. So thank you for helping me clear that up because we don't want people thinking I'm just saying we were just serial murderers, you know, naturally.
Yeah.
Everybody like, yeah, I'm going to go back to my natural state as Jermaine Andre says. So,
you don't just, most kids didn't usually just step on bugs just to be evil.
Right, just to be doing it.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
If they were coming at it, like you said, a wild animal or something like that, that's a little bit different. But
yeah, I can remember my daughter was little and I caught her and she stepped on a bug. And I said, why'd you step on that bug? She said, because it's yucky. I said, you don't just kill something for nothing. His life has value to him, just like your life has value to you. Unless you're going to eat it, you don't kill it. You're going to eat it, you can kill it. She looked at me like, psycho. But she never killed anything all the way up to now. She's 16. She said, Dad, yep, I won't, you know, that's stuck in her head. You know, you can kill it if you want to, but you got to eat it. That's except humans. You know, that's not what I'm talking about.
Or poisonous spiders.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened is we had the suppression of our killer instinct by society because for us to get along, they had to suppress this killer instinct, even if somebody did something to us and we wanted to respond and it maybe even felt we had the right to respond in this manner, they had this threat of worse treatment. We're afraid of going to jail. We're afraid of them coming to kill us. If you kill, we're going to kill you or throw you in jail and imprison your body. You know what I'm saying? So this started making us meeker as creatures, which was needed. This was needed, you know, even when you know, the Hatfields and McCoys got into it and the Hatfields killed one of the McCoys and you killed my cousin. So now I got to kill your cousin. They're both right. Yeah. You killed my cousin. I should kill your cousin. You know, as far as you thinking in that manner, you know what I'm saying? But you can't let people do that.
Right.
It'll just be murder forever. You know, the Hatfield McCoys, I think they still are going on from the rumor anyway, but it would never end and we'd all would kill each other off. Is all that would happen. So society stepped in and said, boom, we're more powerful than you. And if you don't stop this, we're going to take all of you out. Yeah. So then that made everybody, you know, more meek. Yeah. And the thing that happened from us learning this through, you know, teachers saying, hey, you fight back, you're getting suspended and expelled. Parents saying, hey, if you hit your brother back after he hits you, you're going to get a spanking that's going to be worse than what he can do to you. To figures of authority saying, hey, if you strike back at this person for what they did to you, we're going to imprison your body or even kill you if you don't surrender to us. This really took the self-defense mode out of us as human beings. It makes us feel like it's wrong to even fight back. You know, like you see, when I say, you know, we talk about self-defense, it surprises me how many people in workshops who say, well, when do you have the right to defend yourself? Yeah. And some of them won't fight back. They'll be under attack and they'll wonder, is it okay for me to shoot this guy?
They're thinking about the law more than anything.
Yeah, thinking about the law. They're more afraid of what the law is going to do to them than this guy who's got a knife at their throat. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why it's important when I'm having this talk, because we have to know where we come from and what happened to us so we can make these future decisions, you know, because like so many people, one of the main things that happen is they say, you know, when something bad happens, I get afraid and I freeze. And I say most people do, but that's because your prehistoric animality is shut down to fight back, which, we want to shut down. I'm not saying that we all need to go be animals. That's not what I'm saying, because then society would collapse. And I like sitting in air conditioning right now.
Yeah.
I like being able to put gas in my car and drive to here and there, and going to the grocery store and getting meat that's clean.
Right.
That's not diseased because the government inspected it. You know what I'm saying? So this is not a crack of civilization. So anybody who's sitting there going, and burning the flag, listen, that's not what I'm on. That's not the point that I'm making. This is more of a psychology type thing where I'm saying teach you how to get in your own head. So what happened with the suppression of our killer instinct is what I call post-civilization syndrome. All right. And we have separation from the reality of potential victimizing. So people stop believing that they could become victims. In the Wild West, you knew that the Indians might roll up, if you was a cowboy. Yeah. If you were the Indian, you knew, that the cowboys might roll up. So you was sitting there with your bow and arrow waiting. So now, because of the way things have been created, we don't believe it'll even happen. It's not going to happen to me. It'll never happen to me. And then even if somebody gets to the point where they might think it's possible, they'll step into what's called false confidence before they step into reality. Yeah. And then they'll say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's almost like being drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? I've been an alcoholic. This, the way that this works, and I see it happen. I see that people act in this manner. Yeah. But the separation from the reality of potential victimizing and false confidence is a post-civilization syndrome that makes us weak and makes us victims.
Well, not only that, sometimes when you suppress it too much, people will take it out secretly in a more negative manner too, behind closed doors. So, you're teaching them not to do it. Don't do this. But then if it's really in them, and they're that type of person, they might do something even worse behind closed doors. Well,
that's where abuse comes in. Yeah. It can energy, like that's where it goes to, the whole thing we talk about energy, and it can find its way out. Yeah. So that can happen too. Now, the next step is what I call realization. Okay. Realization is when people realize that this is serious. A serious news incident happens, something that people didn't expect. The victimizing of somebody close to them, a friend or a family member gets attacked, gets hurt, or a personal incident. And sometimes personal incidents can be simple. I'll never forget, I had a friend, and he had big money, ran around fancy cars, hung out all the clubs, spending big money everywhere. I mean, nice guy, what I would say, cocky, proud about life, because he was successful. He was very successful, money-wise. And he was at a bar and let his mouth get a little bit to it and got his butt whipped. And after he got whipped, that realization hit him. Yeah. And he said, and this is a 47-year-old man. And he said, I can't fight. Yeah. I can't defend myself. This dude, what if he would have wanted to kill me? What if he would have wanted to do whatever he wanted to do to me? There was nothing I could have done. Right. So at that late an age, after all the success in his life, he finally had the realization because of a personal incident. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That he couldn't defend. And then he came to me and started training. He started flying all the way to St. Louis to learn how to defend. He was good. Yeah. But it took that incident to bring his animality out. Yeah. And now he's hitting the pads. I didn't have to tell him to hit hard because he had a thought in his mind that this could really happen to me. Now, most people, what happens when they have realization, a serious news incident, something that scares them, happened in the neighborhood. Oh my God, or a friend or family. Whoa, that happened to you? Yeah. Maybe it can happen to me. Or personal incident like what happened to him. They may not be strong enough to seek out self-defense or training like he did. Yeah. They get lost because they're still afraid. Like a lot of people don't want to learn self-defense because they feel it's going to turn into this vicious murdering killer. It's like, no,
that happens all the time.
Yeah. I don't want to do this. Then you don't have to. Yeah. It's just your choice. This is just like you don't carry a gun because, you don't carry a gun because you're going to have to use it. You carry a gun just in case you have to use it. You don't have to use it just because you got it, but you might get in a situation where you wish you had it and you didn't, you know what I'm saying? So, but what happens, they move into fear. And when they move into fear because of realization, that's when prejudice comes out. That's when profiling comes out. That's when racism comes out. That's when anger comes out. That's when blame comes out. And that's when helplessness comes out. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of those types of problems are because people can't defend themselves. That's why they're afraid. Just kind of like I was talking, we talked before about in use of force with training, when I train security, police, and I say they need to be the baddest asses on the planet. not just for the fact to get into a physical confrontation, but for the fact that this man needs to have the comfort in his mind that he can whoop everybody butt in the room. So he's not going to ever lose it and make a mistake and get afraid and fire a shot when he shouldn't have.
Right.
Because he knows, he's reading your behavior. He knows when you're going to strike. And when you throw your hardest punch, he knows how close you can be before you can hit him. He's going to move and duck and shoot under and slam you on the ground and put his foot on your head while he's got your arm here and he's looking at your buddy saying, go ahead, try it. Now, you just saved 3 people from getting shot.
Yeah.
And saved another riot, because he shot somebody who should have been shot, but these people think they shouldn't, it stopped all this by him being a badass. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say this. So when people who live in fear, when they see this, they get to the realization of, wow, I can become a victim. All this other negative stuff starts happening, like I said.
So I have a question real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Because you were saying that a lot of people are afraid that they're going to break the law if they defend themselves. What are the laws? Like when someone actually comes at you, or do they have to, is it like a verbal attack, a physical attack? What is it that they have to do that allows you to use self-defense? Well,
anytime, if first of all, if we start from the top of it, if somebody is laying hands on you, they're trying to commit death or serious bodily harm, you have the right to use deadly force. That's when you got the right to shoot them. And like I tell you, just like I teach everybody, a punch to the head is deadly force. You can hit somebody in the head with a punch, boom, and you can kill them. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. These people getting in street fights and stuff. If I tell them, guys, you can't be punching people in the face, because now everybody carrying a CCW, and you swing at their head, pow, they can shoot you, and they right, because a punch can kill you. That's what's called imminent assault. People can make most. I teach that to bodyguards a lot, how to read certain. They read certain even things. I even teach them how to read blood rushing to the face. And that's something that an everyday person can't read. But that's how complicated it gets. Where I teach them to read snarling lips, sweaty palm, all kinds of things that give a sign that this person's getting ready to attack.
Right.
But you, as a regular everyday person, somebody approaching you. I always say this: if it's a stranger and they're approaching you, you tell them, stay back.
Yeah.
Simple 2 words, stay back, and you step back. They keep approaching you, I drop them. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out here running, this guy looking weird, and he's walking up to me, I say, stay back. And he just keeps coming, looking at me. He gets in my range, bow, he's getting hit. And I don't know if I'm going to pull a gun and shoot him or anything like that. And that's why it's always best to have, your only option shouldn't be a gun. And that's why I tell people, just because you got a gun doesn't mean there's a big range of things that can happen before you can blast somebody. And in that big range, you can get attacked before you get to that gun. So letting them know, knowing that type of stuff. But imminent assault, if anybody is hurting you, you have the right to defend yourself. You can't, if somebody's, across the parking lot and say, I'm going to kick your butt, you son of a, you can't run over there and beat them up or run over and shoot them. They have to be an immediate threat.
Right.
That's the main thing. They have to be an immediate threat to you. And then there's like I said, there's a lot of gray areas, because, if I walk downstairs in my basement and somebody's in my basement, then they're not an immediate threat, but he's in my house, he getting blasted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's game over for him, and me. I mean, when I say that, I'm speaking that from a everyday person who's not a self-defense expert like me. Me personally, I might give the person a chance, because I'm going to stay a step ahead of him, and I trust my instinct and my movements, where I might say, what are you doing in here? And I want to spare his life, so I might just beat him down. Or give him that shit. Dude, you need to lay on your stomach and put your hands behind your head, or I'm going to do all kinds of fun stuff to you right now. You know what I'm saying? But an everyday person, if you're not trained to fight every day, it might not be a good idea to try and go hand to hand with somebody who's in your basement, because you never know. He might be some ex-military dude who lost his mind, and he kicked the crap out of you because he's a fighting expert. So you
naturally probably are going to, just your intuition, your instinct, you're going to probably know when you have the right to fight back.
Yes. Your intuition picks up. It's the fight or flight.
Yeah.
When you feel fight or flight, like, man, I need to get out of here, or I need to fight, that's usually the right time you have to defend yourself. Yeah. So, read your intuition.
That's what I think so. Okay.
Read your intuition. So, going through that, I just said most people, when they get the realization, they fall into fear. Now, those who choose to go and say, okay, this is real, and I need to do something about it. I'm not going to sit back and just be afraid for the rest of my life and let all this negative stuff start happening, where I'm just, everybody that walk past I'm scared of, or what I see on the news. Oh, these types of people are attacking people now. So every time I see one of those types of people on the streets, I'm going to be afraid, Instead of falling, I'm not falling for that. I'm going to go how to learn and protect myself. And they go to a good self-defense instructor who knows what they're doing, and they start training. The first thing that happens is you develop what's called awareness. You start seeing things. That looks suspicious. Now, that don't mean you're ready to fight yet, but you'll pick up on that. The next thing you develop is what's called preparedness, because you're seeing this awareness and you're starting to notice things because your self-defense instructor's teaching you. You got to watch out for this and watch out for that. So you're seeing it. So now you're saying, when you're at home, I'm getting ready to go today to work. And man, I remember seeing that weird guy. Oh, I remember when I was on the elevator, that one dude, man, the elevator was broken. I had to walk up those stairs. I need to make sure I got my pepper spray. Yeah. I need to make sure I got my Kubertine, so I'm ready. So now you're into the prepared mode. So you're walking around checking, still maybe a little afraid. Keep training your self-defense class. Now you make it to the waiting mode, where you're like, okay, yep, I know this area. I know this situation. I'm familiar with this. Mm-hmm. I'm prepared. I'm ready to go. I'm waiting for somebody to do something.
Yeah.
Hope it don't happen, but I'm waiting for somebody to do something, So now you're ready, you're waiting. And then you keep training. Now you get fast, you get quick, you feel you in shape, confidence up, woo. Now you're in that hoping stage, which is the stage I'm in. Oh, I hope somebody tries something today. Oh my goodness. Is that guy going to try? Is this your ski mask, sir? Here you go. Toss a ski mask. No, that ain't mine. Get away from me, So that's what happens. But that's where you want to get to. You want to get to that hoping stage. And then that's why you have to have a good self-defense instructor who teaches you, about humanitarianism. What's the word I'm looking for? Mm-hmm. Compassion. We'll just use that one for now. Compassion, and how to be a good person, where you're not looking to hurt someone innocent, and you don't let it turn to that, because it can turn to that. Yeah. It can turn to that, and you can become a bad individual. Mm-hmm. But that's why the martial arts is best, because you got discipline, you got respect, you have things, self-control, things that keep you under control, where even if, you should be to the point, like you say, somebody like me, and I've been in situations, like even security situations, where it's life-threatening deal, and I had to put somebody down, and I could have killed that person because of the attack they made, but I had no interest in taking their life because I have compassion towards them. I have, value for a human life, that, okay, man, even though I got the right now to do this to you because of what you did, I'm not going to do it. And then that's the true power. That's even stands above hoping, where when something does happen, you've got so much confidence, so much control, that first I'm going to put it on you. And then secondly, I'm not even going to have to take you out, because I have the power right now to take you out, and I'm going to choose not to do it. And that's the ultimate control and ultimate self-defense and the ultimate confidence, and that's where everybody needs to be at that point in their life. Everybody should be trying to get themselves there, and learn self-defense so they can get to that point. And then that's when you walk in your life comfortably, and you walk in that's truly not being afraid. Right. The person who, you watch the news, you see this going on and a riot here, and this person got mugged, this lady got kidnapped, and then you run and go buy a gun, take a CCW course, put a gun on your hip. That's not it. Yeah. That's still fear. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I don't even carry a gun, because I know I'm going to see things that's happened. I'm going to see it so fast, and that don't mean I'm against guns. I love guns, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel the need for one. And that doesn't mean everybody else shouldn't. I'm not saying that. I train a certain way, but I'm saying I've got myself to that point where I can see what happens, where there's not a moment that I would see that I would need, me personally, the way I'm trained, that I would need a gun. There's so much I could use, even if it came to using a knife or an ink pen or, a chair or whatever it is in the area, because I'm going to use my mind to set that person up, or my awareness is going to be so tight that I'm going to see it 10 miles away before it comes. Unless it's a assassin looking for me or something with a 50 caliber rifle from a half a mile away, which my handgun ain't gonna be no good anyway.
So pretty much, as long as you're not afraid to fight back, you're probably pretty naturally going to just do the right thing when it comes to putting the right technique on somebody, or like you said, picking a chair up. As long as you don't have that fear to fight back, you're probably going to fight back the right way. Man,
that's a really good point. And I'm 100% for technique and learning how to fight correctly.
Well, of course.
But what you're saying is true. Like you say, gorillas and apes, when they attack somebody, they don't use technique, and they rip people apart. They just hammer fisting and smacking and biting at you. And if a human being, that goes all the way back to the beginning of what I'm saying about being a natural born killer, you have the instinct of knowing how to fight. So if you can just turn it on and say, F it, it's on. all right, fool, you are it. And focus your attention where I'm going to take you apart. I don't think it's an attack out there that's going to be able to stand and take it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like I say, they're looking for somebody weak. They're not looking for a fight.
Right.
And if any human being just turns it on and goes psycho,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Just go psycho on them. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying that's your defense, because then I'm putting you right back into what I call false confidence.
Yeah.
You know, that, Jermaine said just go psycho, so I don't need a self-defense class. I'm just going to go psycho on somebody, because it may not happen. I'm just saying if you can make yourself do that.
Right.
You know, which that's what we teach you in the martial arts is, first of all, how to get to that psycho point where you're saying, yeah, it's on, let's go. But then we teach you, all right, get under control so you don't accidentally hit your kid in the face while you're throwing a kick at him, because you got your kid with you today, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good point there. But that's the main thing, guys, is just to keep in mind that naturally you can defend yourself, and the fact of us being civilized has pulled that from us, and it still is inside of you. Yeah. You know, it's not something, you're not a weak individual who can't fight back. Everybody who thinks that about themselves is not true. And, you know, a good martial art instructor can pull that out of you, where you can be able to stand up and use it if you need to use it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All
right. So Jermaine Andre signing off here. And remember, everybody, we are now live on iTunes and Stitcher. Please, we need that feedback.
Oh, yeah.
Tell your buddies, let them know, you know, get them listening in. Search for Life Fight on iTunes and Stitcher. You know, and leave your review. We will be reading the reviews. You know, We're going to go over them. I might even read some of them on the podcast, you know, as long as it's sensible. You know, that doesn't mean it has to agree with me. You know, if you got something that disagrees with me and I like the sound of it, even if it's far-fetched and out there and crazy, kind of like a lot of stuff I say, you know, we will read it, because that'll get us thinking. So we appreciate any and all reviews you can put on there.
Absolutely.
All right. Until next time, see you.
Take care.
For all things Jermaine Andre, get books, get trained. Learn the secrets behind his brawn, his brain, and his edge. Visit JermaineAndre.com. Life Fight with Jermaine Andre is another positive production of RareGem Productions. Thanks for listening.